Welcome back, all my fellow football fans, to another episode of the Football Mundial podcast. Today we got a really special episode, the El Clasico special, and we'll go ahead and cover the Atletico Madrid Betis game as well. But we'll go ahead and start off with some introductions, a little greeting. Daniel Grijalva, how you doing at the bottom of the screen, bro?
Doing good, bro. It's good to be back. It's a little different time for us. We usually do Thursdays, kind of, but good early episode in the week.
Yeah, for sure. How you doing, Daniel Valdez?
Doing good, bros. Exciting weekend of La Liga. Clasico never disappoints. It was a good game. Excited to talk about it a little.
Yeah, I feel like on the last Clasico, it was like the talk that Clasico was kind of dying and the game's not exciting as they were. But I think this one definitely met expectations. And I think there was a lot of hype going into this one too, just because of how both teams were playing. But with that little introduction, I think we can just go ahead and get straight into the game. They said Clasico took place at the Alfredo Di Stefano. And, both of these teams going into the game are in positions to essentially, still win the league. And I mean, even after this game, both teams are. But going into it, Madrid was 63 points, Barcelona 65 points, just 2 points ahead of them. And I mean, ultimately, Real Madrid pulled out the victory, the 2-1 win. And now is currently in second place and just one point behind Atletico Madrid. But just kind of going back to the game, what were you guys' immediate thoughts about it? Is there any specific moments that you guys, really liked or players you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to really talk about the ref. I mean, I know it's something that a lot of people may be talking about as well, but even before the game, it was very talked about. I know that he's just a ref that's known for not being good at all. And I mean, you could kind of see it in the game that it seems like a lot of times a lot of refs want to make the game about them in a way sometimes, and I mean, that's just something I wanted to talk about. I thought there was maybe 2 PKs that Barca could have got, and they weren't called. Maybe 3, but yeah, it's just. I mean, those PKs changed the game as well. I mean,
Yeah, no. Something that stood out to me probably was just the fact that Tony Kroos and Modric keep performing at this level, at this age. I mean, especially Modric. I know Kroos is a little bit younger, but just the way
I think he's still in his 30. I think he just hit 30, so he's up there too.
Yeah, he's not that old.
For a player,
but I know he wants to. He said he doesn't want to play like a lot longer, huh? Something like that.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 31.
Yeah,
so I mean, for a soccer player,
and just the fact that how good I feel like we don't give enough credit to Zidane sometimes, just how good his teams are able to adapt to the other teams, like playing style, or they're able to adapt to whatever the opposition brings, and just the fact that I kind of considered it like a do or die for Madrid this game. It was like if they lose there, I feel like they were out of possibilities to win the Liga, and now they're in a perfect position, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like you said with Zidane, we've been pretty critical of him, but I think when you're coming against his Barcelona team, they have a good little squad, and they can keep possession. I think attacking is obviously definitely their strong suit, and Zidane and Real Madrid kind of recognized that going into this game. I don't think the game plan was ever to completely dominate them. I think it was to kind of feel them out and, I mean, just hit them on the counter especially with Piqué out. And I mean, Araujo was able to step in for this game, but I mean, he's been out for the past couple games as well. So they really wanted to expose that back line. And somebody that I did want to compliment very, very, very highly on Barcelona side is Oscar Mingueza, who, I told you guys, I think it was last episode or the episode before, but I mean, the guy wasn't even a certified Barca B starter, and he's stepped into the first team. And I mean, in my opinion, he's probably the man of the match of this game. I don't think there was anybody on Real Madrid who really shone at least in my opinion. I think Mingueza, if it weren't for him, we could have seen 3-4s. I mean, one of the immediate moments that pops into my mind was Real Madrid's going on a counter. I think it's the 55th minute. I mean, Benzema's 3-4 yards ahead of him, and the guy catches up to shield him and not let him essentially score a tap in right in front of the goal. I mean, at that point, the game would have been sealed if Mingueza. I mean, he's the guy that scored the goal too. I almost forgot about that. And it was just a great performance from him. But I think questions really do need to be asked about that. The Barcelona's back line. For me, Jordi Alba has been having a great season, but that great season has come on the attacking end and has come, let's be completely honest, due to this change in this formation and playing with Lionel Messi and having one of the best connections in soccer with him. So if we go back to that first goal that Real Madrid scores in I think it's like the 12th minute or something, it was pretty early on. Valverde's running at Jordi and he just stabs at the ball terribly, and Valverde easily walks around him. And that leaves the whole left flank. Lucas Vázquez completely open, gets the ball, can set himself up, look up, and then take the cross without anybody closing him out. And I mean, it's just a beautiful finish from Benzema. That's a fucking beautiful goal. The little flick, behind his leg, and I mean, at 1-0 at that point, I think that's kind of what Real Madrid was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely that. They needed just that one goal, and throughout there, they knew what they can do to this Barca team. And I mean, it's Alba. Player we talked about confidence and mentality and stuff like that in a podcast before, and he's one of those players that I think he's definitely good. But I mean, it's just he may be lacking like confidence, or just maybe, I don't want to call him weak like mentally, because I mean, I know what it's like to play, and it's rough, but I mean, when you're at the top level playing for Barca, I mean, you can't be, I don't know, it's just seems like he's just the type of player that really like folds under pressure, and it just sucks to see.
And even on the goal, like after the goal goes in, sorry, I mean, let's be honest, he's the one that fucked up, and immediately he's the first one to throw his hands in the air and look like he's complaining. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know if he doesn't realize like that he's the one that screwed up, or he definitely has like, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it, right? In the locker room where Piqué's telling him essentially like, we have the Copa still, and Jordy's saying, well, I don't know. And Piqué's like, what do you mean? And he's just pues no sé. Like, what kind of mentality is that going into a game against Athletic Club? Like, you guys aren't playing Bayern Munich, you guys are playing Athletic Club, a good little team, but I mean, you're definitely going into it the favorite.
No, yeah, it's someone who's struggled a little bit on the mental side. We know it. Crying at halftime at Anfield, we all saw that footage. It's been rolling around since then.
Yeah.
And we all know that he's more of an attacking fullback. He reminds me a lot, like a little bit of Marcelo. Obviously, Marcelo, way better, like skill set and stuff.
Yeah.
But just better on the attacking and defending. And it's kind of the same thing even with Marcelo. Marcelo has thrived when he has three in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Alba. But I just feel like Barca had the ball. Even in the first half, they had the ball more than Madrid, but they just never looked dangerous. I feel like Madrid was very comfortable without the ball even. And let's like looking at some of the pictures and some like watching the game of the first half, their shape defensively wasn't even great. There was a lot of gaps in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like Barca couldn't penetrate it, and then Barca was going up, and they were leaving too many spaces behind too, because there was easily two more goals that could have been scored in that first half by Real Madrid if those counters were taken correctly.
Yeah, like that one Valverde off the bar, and then Vasquez misses like right in front. And I mean, Ter Stegen saves it. It's a great save, but I mean, that could have been what would have been 2-0, 2-0, maybe 3 at that point.
It really looked like Madrid was more dangerous in the first half. They were causing way more problems, and I didn't know how they were going to react at halftime, to be honest. But it was a good reaction.
Yeah, I think Barca played pretty well in terms of like keeping the ball, having options. But I think once they get into that final third, Real Madrid looked very organized, and Barcelona really didn't have too many options, right? Because Messi is a player who likes to find the ball, kind of in between the lines, and he looks up, and his only option is Dembele. Pedri does try to link up with him a bit, but he's still a midfielder at the end of the day, and he's still going to need to get back, especially against the midfield we're playing against. And it looked like Dest wasn't really used on the right. He didn't make too many runs in behind, and same thing with Alba. The fullbacks weren't. I mean, I think that's what the three at the back brings. It kind of brings the most out, and I didn't see them use too many as options. I think that's the whole point, right? To stretch the field with those guys specifically. But I do see, like you said, the counter was open without those guys even pushing up. So imagine, if they did. Um, I think there was a lot of criticism on Pedri. I think that's a bit unfair. He didn't have
Mm.
one of his best games, but the kid's 18 years old, and he was the midfielder that you would see drop in to collect the ball. Tons of confidence on the ball. I mean, he's playing these flick passes at the 18-yard line of Barca. I mean, the confidence that that takes at 18 years old is insane, and I think that's all I want to see from a player like him. I feel like the past couple seasons we've had midfielders. I'm not going to name specific players, but who would shy away from the ball, who would stick by their defender to not receive the ball, and he does the complete opposite, and he makes moves to open other players up. Those the early combination with Messi and Dembele, and I think he had an overall okay performance. He's definitely not the player that needs to be scapegoated, like I was seeing on Twitter. But I think the second goal was a bit unlucky. You have Tony Kroos taking that's always going to be a dangerous free kick, especially basically on the line. Um, and I, like you said, when you see that second goal go in, it's difficult. It's how are we gonna get back on this? And the first change was Griezmann for Dest, and they kind of changed back to the 4-3, and I think that's when we saw Barcelona with a bit more confidence.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that to myself. I was just wondering about, I mean, maybe a change in formation going back to 4-3 might, I mean, help Barca. I mean, I know essentially they're still kind of playing the same and it looks kind of the same out there, but I mean, it's different with just two center backs, two full backs, and I mean, I don't know if Coleman might go back to that again, or he's sticking with the same lineup.
Yeah, I think the
I
three.
kind of
Go
just
ahead.
felt that they didn't really need that extra. I mean, the three in the back has been working, so it's like, why do you change something that works? You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was I give credit to the coach for that because I mean, obviously when it's up 2-0, I don't they're not gonna attack that much, so it's just take out that extra defender, put an offensive player in there. So I mean
Mhm.
that was a good change by him, but I just kind of felt like maybe you could have start. It's easy to say now, I mean, but you could have
Mhm.
started with that 4-3-3, give Pedri a little bit more in that midfield, kind of overload because first half it was just they were losing really really simple balls, and like I said, it's just us and we were just kind of having to field the first half. They were able to get space and stuff, but yeah, I mean they kind of the second half was, to be honest, I mean it was a good change. It was just wasn't enough, unluckily.
Yeah. I think like you said, the second half was completely different, but at the same time, Real Madrid's approach to the second half was completely different. I think at that point, I mean, you're up 2-0 against Barcelona, right? That's the result you need. You just hold, and um, they just essentially let Barca have the possession. And at this point, they said, we'll just hit you on the counter. It is what it is. And I mean, there was a couple dangerous balls still that Barca had difficulties dealing with. One of the ones that comes to mind is Modric's tres dedos when he hits it with the outside of his foot to Vinny right around Mingueza. It's a great ball. I think that's the one where Vinny could have slotted it to Benzema and he gives a bad pass and they intercept it. So I mean that's another opportunity where Real Madrid could have scored, but um, I think a couple more signings in this team. Just a mid to high profile center back, someone who can really finish. And I mean this Barcelona team looks completely flipped around. Whether Messi will stay or not, it's a completely different story. That's he's really the only one that knows. There's so much speculation that goes on, but I don't know if the guy has even made the decision in his mind. So we'll leave that for towards the end of the season when the season's all wrapped up. But you got to wonder in these big games. It's one of the things I had asked before. I mean, the only big team that Barca has beat is Sevilla, right? This is two losses against Real Madrid, one against Atletico Madrid, the big loss against Juventus 3-0 to secure what could have been first place as long as you don't lose by 3-0, and they did that. I don't know how, but they did. But I think this the at least early on in the season, those losses were unacceptable. The team looked terrible, but I think now the team's looking a little bit better, and at least at this point, I wouldn't be disappointed as a Barca fan like I was in those previous losses.
Yeah, it was definitely different in the beginning of the season because I mean, you also had Messi might be leaving. I mean, the whole Bartomeu and everything. I mean, Barca was like literally like a mess at the beginning of the season. Everybody was kind of
Yeah,
talking about how they just like looked like they weren't even gonna be a top club anymore. And I mean, to see to see what Koeman honestly has done with this team and how far they're still in the La Liga race and they're in the Copa final. And it's just, he's done a really great job and a lot of credit has to go to him, honestly.
I mean, yeah, we can consider it that they've obviously improved massively from the beginning of the season and now. And like you're saying, just to touch Alex on the big games, I think the other big game was just the first game against Juve where they went 2-0 in
Yeah.
Turin. But even then, it's not that much of a pressure. The league is just starting. The season's just starting.
And I
And
mean, sorry to cut you off, but Juve is, I mean, they're a big
yeah,
team right now, but we'll leave
but
it.
yeah, like it's just you kind of have to feel disappointed. You always expect like if they don't end up winning the league,
Yeah.
I would say you kind of have to be a little disappointed because you're there, and it's
Mhm.
just it's you can get that result. It's can you turn that around? Can you actually beat a big club, and especially at this point in the season where it's critical. I mean that my belief was if Madrid lost today, they're out of the race, and now ultimately because they don't have any face head to heads anymore, with Atletico or Barca, and used to have that Barca Atletico. You get a draw there. Madrid keeps winning, and
Yeah.
they're gone. They're gone with the league. But I mean, obviously Barca has improved massively. They can do a few signings. They need a few new faces, but obviously I think there were like a 19 game unbeaten streak or something like that. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Something like that.
yeah. So I mean, it's not something simple. It's easy to say now, but I mean, it's hard to do. But yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe just a more experienced center back, someone who can command that back line, and someone who can put the ball away at the end of the day.
Hmm. And I think this result, although may not be something Barcelona fans wanted, I think this makes La Liga, I mean, as tight as ever. Real Madrid's just 1 point behind Atletico Madrid. Atletico sits at top at 67, Madrid just a point behind at 65, and Barca's just a point behind them at 60. Or I'm sorry, Madrid has 66 and Barca has 65. So it's just a 2 point difference between first and second. So I mean, if both of those teams in Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid drop points and Barca wins out, I guess there's still a great chance for them to win. And I mean, even looking at Sevilla after their win today, they're just still 6 points behind, only 4 behind Barcelona. So
Sevilla play Madrid too. Real Madrid, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
yeah, they still have to play as well. So
So
1 and 3 and 2 and 4 still have to play each other. So this title is as up in the air as it's ever been, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really great, honestly. 6 points between first and fourth. That's honestly anybody's title at this point. You really don't see Madrid or Barca like dropping that much points, but you
Mhm.
still don't know. It's anything could happen. 6 points is just 2 games.
It's just the fact that if Barca would have won this game, it's completely in their control.
Yeah, I mean they're in first,
Mhm.
or they would be in first right now, 68, with 8 games to play, and like you said, that Atletico one is still a big one. So you got who do you guys? I mean, think is gonna pull this one out? Madrid, as
If
much.
Barca win against Atletico, it looks like they basically handed the title to Real Madrid. So it's kind of crazy. You
Yeah,
want Barca to win, but also, they'll put Real Madrid on top, 2 point or 1 point or
yeah.
2 points. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's because there's still some tricky games left. I mean,
Hmm.
Madrid still have to play Betis, who tied Atletico this weekend. They have to play Sevilla, Athletic Club, and Villarreal are the ones trying to stand out. And Athletic Club and Villarreal becoming the last two games they have to face. So I mean, you never know. They might drop points. We don't really know what to expect from the Zidane side sometimes. It's like they lose those little points along the way against some small teams. But I mean, we've seen it before. They've gone. I think it was like the last 8, 9, 10 games just
Yeah,
win it out, and I mean it's possible, but a lot has to do on that Atletico Barca game. I think. And one thing
yeah,
is, I mean, I don't want to leave Atletico out either. I mean, they're one of those teams that know how to suffer. They're one of those teams that really die on the line. So I mean, maybe this is like a little spark they needed.
yeah. Yeah, and I think this will be the perfect transition to the next game, which took place on Sunday between Real Betis and Atletico Madrid. And I mean, this is an important match, not just for Atletico Madrid, who has Real Madrid equal on points on them going into this, and they're just 1 point above Barca, right? So this is a huge game for them. But it's also a big game for Real Betis because Real Betis, if we look at the table, they currently going into this game, they had 46 points, and currently they're tied with the Real Sociedad. So they're really trying to get that UEFA League qualification, and Pellegrini's kind of turned the side around. And I mean, I really didn't expect Betis to be looking this good this season. But just to kind of go back to the game, early on, Atletico looked great. They had the ball, at least in like the first maybe 10, 12 minutes. They had the ball, and they kind of just caught Real Betis, I guess, sleeping on the back foot. And I mean, finally in the fifth minute, I guess it's really early on, but in the fifth minute, Atletico gets that early goal coming from Carrasco. And I mean, they have another chance a little bit after at the 14th minute. So early on, Atletico Madrid looked good, but I don't think that's their problem. I think their problem is, playing the full 90 minutes, as we've seen the past couple of weeks. It seems like they've kind of struggled at the end.
Yeah, but they definitely had a great game. They looked like to me, it looked like they were honestly the better team in my opinion. I mean, they had a lot of not clear cut chances, but I saw a good amount of chances where they could have gone up. And I mean, it's just about finishing those little chances, and they changed the game. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those games where you expect your big signing to show up, and I honestly didn't think he showed up. I'm talking about Joao Felix, who was subbed out in the 48th minute. Um, you just gotta expect a little bit more. I was expecting more from him. Maybe the style's not helping him, but I mean, at least Carrasco found the goal again. Who had a good little run during the season.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of grinding it out. I think Betis was a good team. I don't think they put their best 11 out on the field for whatever reason. That Fekir's not on it. I don't know if he's injured or not.
I
But
thought I saw him.
was he in?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he was.
sure he
Yeah, it was his brother. It's his brother, I think. Yeah, seen that. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, there was a striker.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sevilla is one of those. I mean, Betis is one of those teams that can make you earn your points. They work hard. Pellegrini has really turned it around. Some couple of good signings. Claudio Bravo, that experience in the back has really helped them.
Yeah.
Guido Rodriguez in the midfield had a good game as well. It's just, I don't know, we go back to you got to grind out the results, and I think Atletico did have chances this game. It was just a matter of putting it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think Real Betis got their goal pretty early on after Atletico Madrid scored. Alex Moreno assists the former La Masia product, Cristian Teo, and Teo had a couple other chances that he could have put away or took maybe a little bit better, but he was able to finish that chance early to get Betis back into the game. And shortly after that, Emerson has a chance that he could have also put away a couple yards in front of the net, but
I thought that was
like
going
you
in,
said.
honestly, when I saw that.
What's up?
I thought that was going in when I first like saw
Emerson?
it. He was really close.
Yeah. And like as Daniel Grijalva said, as the game went on, he kind of looked like Real Betis was taking control, and Real Betis likes to hold possession, stretch the opposition and create these chances. And I think, like I said, as the game went on, they kind of did that, and Atletico Madrid just looked less likely to win. And I think that's one of the problems with this team, right? I said this before, and it's weird to say it because they currently sit at the top of the table, but I don't necessarily consider Atletico Madrid in the race. I mean, they obviously are because they're in first, like I just said, but I think they're without Suarez. I mean, 3 weeks, right? Their next two games, they shouldn't have too much trouble. Eibar and Huesca, if they can get past those two, that's okay. But looking past that, Athletic Club, they still have Barca, Sociedad, which are 3 pretty hard games. So, and even to add on to that, even when they're playing, these lower teams or teams who may not necessarily be on their level, I feel like they still struggle. And in the last 20, 30 minutes, it doesn't look like Atletico Madrid is going to score. Sometimes it looks like the other team has more of a chance. And I mean, in this game, that's what it looked like. It looked like Betis was going to be the team to, if someone was going to score, it was going to be them. So I don't know. I don't want to completely count Atletico Madrid out. They did have some injuries in this game, which were a bit unfortunate. I think Trippier had to come out, and I think there was one more too. Don't recall exactly.
Felix got injured too.
Who was it?
I think Felix got injured too. I think that's why he was subbed.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. That's why
it was like a minor injury or something.
Yeah. I haven't seen the reports to see how long they're going to be out, but I mean, just with the Suarez, in itself, I mean, that's their goals right there. they overperformed their XG because of him. Like he's the guy that's there, finishing their chances. So I don't want to say Atletico's out, but I personally feel like they are. This is probably gonna bite me in the ass, and they're gonna end up winning, and everybody's gonna look back at this episode and laugh at me. But I just don't think they're strong enough in blowing. What was it? I think at the peak it was like a 14, 15 point lead. I think it's getting to their heads.
I mean, yeah, like I just feel like they need I mean, Saul's one of the players that I like a lot, and he just hasn't been performing at all.
Yeah, I
He's
think he played a bit better this game, but no, he
yeah.
definitely has. I've heard rumors that he wants to leave. I don't know if that's true, but that could be playing a part in his performances too.
It's just I feel like we sometimes undermine the importance of like the psychological
Mm-hmm.
part of the game, and it's like first of all we all know Atletico feels better, like way more comfortable being the underdog, being the team waiting,
Yeah.
and like no expectations for them, counting them out. I feel like they do struggle a little more when they're the ones who have to go out and look for that score for the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they struggle a little bit more in that part, but yeah, I mean we'll wait it out and we'll see. I think Herrera had a good game. He had an alright game there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you said, especially with your main striker out, who's basically the only one who's putting it in the back of the net, you lose him. Now you lose your other one of your other strikers, Felix. It's gonna be hard for them. And like you said, they have a couple good games that are gonna be tough for them.
Yeah, I think Dembele will be back from now on. He's been out for like past, I don't remember how long. It's been a little while, but I think he is finally coming back this next week. So I'm sure he'll be the one to step in. But I mean, we haven't seen a lot of him, right? So we don't know exactly what to expect. He's not a striker who's played in La Liga. So I mean, like we said, we don't really know what to expect from him fully, and it's not like they're completely used to having the guy up there either.
Yeah. It's just I mean it's the other thing is Oblak is basically keeping him in this race too as well. He had a couple nice saves. He
Mm-hmm.
had one on Linus near post bottom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
It was a great chance. And just touching on him a little bit because I remember last episode I touched on him that he wasn't really a penalty stopper. And I think on the Liga he has like the best percentage. It's just by
It's funny because I saw that stat. I didn't want to bring it up though, but I was like,
I saw, I don't know how I ended up seeing. I was like, oh shit, I gotta say this in the next episode.
that's funny.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but I
crazy
think you
how
have a
much
good point. I think you had a good point. Like that's not what he's potentially the best player or the best goalie in the world, and that's not what he's known for though. The penalties.
yeah, but when you look at the numbers, it's there. It's up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But we'll just wait to see. Maybe some of these players, I feel like maybe like he's one of them. I feel like that maybe they're getting too big for that club. Maybe they're on the move. We'll just wait out and see. I mean, I don't think there's any rumors about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, Saúl was one of those players who loved being there. Now all of a sudden, he wants to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe does Simeone's reign over? Does he look for something else? Do Atleti look for something else? Because it's kind of like it's becoming a little bit repetitive, just choking in the sense, choking in the final stages, the big games.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to come down to his tactics. I mean, I don't know how long he's been at Atletico now. It's been a few good years, but I mean,
Yeah.
they've always still been. They're still known for that defensive team, and I mean, are you ever going to switch it up? I mean, I know it's like Mourinho too, where he used to play different back in the day, and he goes more defensive now. But I mean, I don't know. A lot of players want to attack. I mean, especially with the type of players they have too. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're tired of just sitting behind the ball.
Yeah, I think Daniel brought up a good point about João Felix not necessarily performing. He did have a good start to the season, but I think part of that is due to like the way they play and him not getting as many minutes because of the way they play. Um, I mean, it's completely hypothetical, but you see him in a system like Manchester City, he may not get as many minutes there either, but I think he's gonna learn and he's gonna pick up these tendencies because he's getting the ball where he wants him. He's getting the ball when he wants it. And he's playing with like players around him and more attacking options to allow him to create, right? Because I mean, when he's with Atletico, yeah, he can create to his wing backs too. But I mean, above him is just Suarez, and I mean he's out right now, but that's kind of it, right? They, like we said, they're not a team who is gonna take the game to you. They're a team that's gonna let the game come to them a bit more sort of pragmatic. So,
just to touch a little bit on Simeone. I mean, you expect more from the highest paying manager,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like Daniel said,
Yep.
he mentioned Mourinho. You know, it's one of those things where if you don't adapt, you stay left behind. Look at Mourinho in the Premier League this season. He's been struggling. He hasn't been able to continue with the the developments of the game, like the new ways to play. And I mean, it's one of those things to think about. I mean, I think that I heard the Atletico executives or whatever say that Simeone can stay as long as he wants, but where do you draw the line? You know, if he ends up not winning La Liga, because I don't
Yeah,
think there's other competition.
that's true. That's true. That's a good point. I was just gonna say at the same time we have to like remember that before Diego Simeone even came in, Atletico Madrid wasn't this Atletico Madrid where you're gonna expect them to always finish third and potentially challenge for the title, and which they have done before. So I get the point that he may not be the coach. He may not have the style that all teams would want, but at the same time, you have to look at what he's done for the club. He's the most winningest coach in their history, passing Aragones. So, I mean, he.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know if they could ever fire him. If they could ever get rid of him, I feel like if he really wants to, he can stay there until he retires. Which is kind of weird to say. I don't think there's any other coach that way.
yeah,
Wendy,
I get what
Wendy, I don't know
you're.
how you say his name.
What's up?
From Arsenal. Arsenal's old coach. How long was he there?
Oh, Wenger. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's just I don't know. I feel like, especially like you said, like he's brought Athletic to kind of a whole new level. You know, now you expect him to kind of challenge, but
Yeah, that's a
I
good
just
point.
feel like you don't want to get stuck. You know, you don't want to get stuck
Mhm.
there. I mean, you always want to keep getting better, and maybe I don't know. It's just, or maybe even himself. Maybe he'll end up
Step down
just
or
being
yeah.
drained. Yeah, but who knows? But
Well, I'm sure he won't step down until that contract's over, which I
yeah,
think is after 2022. He's not throwing that money away. So
and they have a good team to be honest. Like they have a good
They
little
have good
squad.
attackers,
yeah, they
honestly.
have a great squad, man. They have a great squad. I mean, they were first with that gap for a reason, right? Even though they did blow it, but this coming up weekend we do have some. I mean, we do have Champions League games Tuesday and Wednesday, which we'll go ahead and cover probably Thursday, but this weekend we do have the Athletic Club Barcelona final for the Copa del Rey. I think Madrid is playing. Sorry, one sec. Madrid is playing Getafe and Atletico are playing Eibar. So, um, I mean, they're probably the big favorites in all those games, but the final will definitely be fun. Athletic Club is a scrappy little squad, and Marcelino has kind of. I think they've only lost like once or twice under Marcelino, which is pretty impressive. So,
Yeah, good little squad.
It's gonna be.
Especially they
Yeah.
become kind of a burden for Barca in the last few years.
yep. I mean, they lost at the Super Copa and
So,
Copa del Rey. Yeah, it's actually. Oh no, it wasn't the Copa del Rey, but yeah. Athletic Club will have another shot. They lost the 2019 one or 2021, 2019, a couple weeks back. So what's up?
the 1920.
Yeah. So they have another shot. It's a big game for Barca. I think if they lose this, their mentality will completely flip.
I just kind of I don't know just the mentality going into the game after losing in the semifinal of the Super Copa too. I mean it should help him. You'd expect it for especially for Messi going out the way he did in that game, but
Yeah.
I feel like they'll pull it off.
Yeah. I do too. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before closing it out? We could have our little post pod, just whatever.
I can think of two little things on top of my head.
Mhm.
First of all, I think Casemiro was sent off a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
It's because the
And
yellow cards don't come out soon enough for that guy.
yeah,
You
and
see, the
then
Pedri one came out right away, and then Casemiro's doesn't come out till like the 70th.
probably Valverde being able to play like that winger, midfield, even fullback positioning.
That dude
he
is
And
just
so
got injured
fast,
too.
bro.
Actually,
yeah. And the last thing, yeah, Lucas Vasquez coming out injured, who was
Oh,
he's probably not the best right back, but he's out for the season. And
yeah,
he has
he's
been
out for the
performing.
season. He's been, I mean, like you said, he's not the best right back, and it's not his natural position, but he's been playing well.
Yeah, he's out for the season, so that's interesting.
Because I mean, who you're gonna put there? Odriozola, who, from what I've heard from Madrid fans, they don't have the most confidence in the guy. I mean, I guess you could maybe play Valverde there, but
He did win La Liga and the Bundesliga last season.
I think Valverde got injured. I don't know if I'm wrong or some. I read something on Twitter.
yeah, but they say that he might take painkillers because I guess it's just a bruise
Oh,
to
okay.
play the game.
Who is that?
Oh, okay.
Valverde,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said he may start versus it's between him and Odriozola. What I've heard from Madrid reports. So I guess we'll see. I mean, tomorrow we got some good games too. We got Chelsea Porto and PSG Bayern. That PSG Bayern last game was a cracker.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, so I think Bayern's gonna come out balls to the wall.
You stick by your prediction? You think they're gonna go through?
Bayern?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
they'll go through.
Kimmich said
PSG.
that he thought they were gonna go through.
Who did?
Bro, it's 'cause
He got
that first game
interviewed.
was completely dominated by them. So it's
Yeah, that's
Yeah, dude,
exactly
they
what he
had
said.
30 shots. Like,
like you said, it's one of those FIFA games where you just
yeah.
it's like that Barca Celtic game from like I think like 11 or
Oh
something,
yeah,
where it's like
they
just like
lost.
they
The thing
lost.
is, though, Bayern has to win by 2 goals unless they come out and score 4 to at least win it. Because, I mean, PSG got 3 away goals, which is a lot.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it is just like a 1 point difference. So, I mean, a 1 goal difference. So, I don't know. As long as Bayern can like tighten up the defense, and which is easier said than done when you're playing against Neymar and Mbappe and Di Maria and Icardi. But if they can tighten up the defense, I think they'll put. What's up?
Is Marquinhos gonna be available or no?
Let's see.
He's not in the squad.
No, no.
No, he's not
Yeah.
even in the squad.
Yeah.
Oof, that's huge because as soon as he came out, he's like their organizer, and you just 2 goals from headers. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen with him in there, but it's definitely less likely. Oh yeah, Cardi is also missing, so I guess I shouldn't have threw his name out there. But yeah, still no Nabry, Lewandowski, no Sule. Those are big losses, man.
And a special shout out to Lingard.
Yeah, he's been balling, bro.
Fernandinho.
Where are they at right now? Like fourth?
Fourth? Yeah, they're fourth.
Or top
That's
of Chelsea.
insane.
That's crazy.
Insane, bro.
That was choked that lead though.
I didn't even watch
Yeah,
it.
they did.
It went off.
Yeah, I watched the highlights. They were closely choking it. They were up 3-0 and won 3-2.
I just seen him all over social medias. A bunch of Lingard memes.
Yeah, damn. Fucking then Man City losing a little two leads on 2 shots.
With the man down. I know I woke up and it was like the 90th minute and they were up and I was like, what? I wish I had seen it, but I think it sounded like it wasn't too entertaining. I would have just expected the game to be more entertaining, but they were a man down, so.
I heard Man City had like 20-something shots, or it's like attempts or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't want to say United's coming back, but I mean they are 11 points behind with the game in hand. Also, you just shorted it out a little bit more. But I mean, Man City.
Yeah, there's only 6 games left though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'll be a bit hard.
No, yeah, they won't choke it, but
they still got the quadruple.
I think with like 2 more Man City wins, and they get the title. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
2 or 3 more.
The next games are Villa and Palace, so I mean it could happen there.
Oh
Those
yeah.
are good little teams, but you never know. Alrighty, is there anything else you guys want to touch on? You guys all good?
I think so, yeah.
That's
Spurs losing again to United. Other little score sheet.
What was that?
Just Spurs losing to United.
Oh yeah.
That VAR whatever on Son.
On Son. Yeah, I saw that too.
That's crazy.
This is actually the first time that Madrid has won both Clásicos since 2007, 2008 too. Last time they won 3 straight was 1979. So it's not looking good for a Barca fan, at least against Real Madrid in the past couple games.
I just wish I mean I just hope Messi shows up in the next ones if he stays.
Yeah.
Not that he hasn't showed, but just in terms of goals, he hasn't scored.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he didn't have the best performance Saturday. You can't say that because Barcelona fans will murder you, but he really didn't.
Yeah, but it's just you look at the guy and like you see some of like the dribbles he does. It's like he goes by 3 players in one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, he's still gonna create and he's still gonna do the magic, but yeah, I think other than that for the Barca stuff, I just really wanted to touch on Jordi. That guy annoys me. I
mean, who do you have back there instead of him?
I mean, nobody on the squad, but
well, like
you could play Des there and put Mingueza RB or something. I don't know. I mean, he was playing there at the U.S. national team. I'm pretty sure.
Well, like if you could sign like a left back for him, who would it be?
Oh, like just a.
Oof.
That's a good question. A lot of people throw out
Yeah.
Grimaldo just because he's been there. I don't know if he'll do it at the highest level. Damn, that's a great question actually. I mean, obviously, like if there is no like if it's like a dream scenario, like someone like
Yeah.
Davies is the option, obviously. Um,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
or like a
I
Robertson.
like Lucas Hernandez a lot too,
Yeah, yeah, Lucas
especially
Hernandez
in
would
the
be
center
good.
back role too.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if
That's
he'd come
true.
just because he's a Madrid product, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, that's a hard question, man. You're putting me on the spot, and my brain is not working.
maybe. No, Cancelo doesn't play on the left anymore a lot.
Oh shit, I'll still take him though. I'll take his ass any day, especially right now. That dude's
Yeah,
sick.
wow.
Yeah, that's a good question. I've heard Balde from the I think he's on the B team or Huinala. He's a bit younger, but if they can give him a couple years to develop, I heard he's a really good player. I never personally watched him. He might be with the team in preseason, so I guess that's a time we can kind of look into him, see how good he is. But
That's
yeah,
another thing though. They're bringing up a lot. I mean, not a lot, but like some of the Masia players are getting good minutes.
yeah,
What's his name? The center mid that went in Moriba.
Moriba. I
Moriba.
mean, he almost scored
Yeah.
too off the
And
Yeah, hit the
bar.
post.
he's
We
good
forgot
though.
to bring that up. That was that's a chance that I think that chance
Yeah.
completely like the confidence that he would get as a Masia product subbed on to score that goal out of this world. But I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, we'll see him. I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit, like kind of like Yaya Toure. Like big, strong,
Hmm.
tall, like
Yeah,
very
fast.
technical. Yeah, and technical.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, that's pretty much.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we can just wrap it up there. Um, like we said, next episode will be Champions League, right? So we'll know who moves on to the semis, which is huge.
Yep.
Yep, top four.
Yes, sir. Final four. I think with that, everybody, thank you guys for watching, listening, whichever you did. Please subscribe, whichever platform, whether it's Apple or Spotify podcasts or here on YouTube. Go ahead and leave us a like and go ahead and drop a comment. Anything you wanted to add on or comment on something we said. But everybody, hope you guys have a good day. Boys, hope you guys have a good one. And we'll see you guys next time.
See y'all next time. Have a good one, boys.
Thank you. Have a good one.